The U.S. Meridian drifted silently through the void, her ancient hull bearing the scars of centuries past. To the casual observer, she was nothing more than an oversized relic, a testament to humanity's first stumbling steps into interstellar space. But Captain Sarah Chen knew better. She stood on the bridge, her weathered hands resting on the worn command rail, watching as the massive Arcanian diplomatic vessel approached. "They're hailing us again, Captain," Lieutenant Rivera announced from his communication station, unable to hide the edge of irritation in his voice. "The Arcanian ambassador is insisting we make way for their ship." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The Arcanians, like most of the Galactic Council races, viewed human vessels with barely concealed disdain. To them, the Meridian was little more than space debris, a primitive construct that should have been decommissioned decades ago. "Put them through, Lieutenant." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing Ambassador Tixra's elegant crystalline features. The Arcanian's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with barely contained annoyance. "Captain Chen," the ambassador's translator rendered his musical language into crisp English, "your vessel is blocking the designated diplomatic lane. We have a schedule to maintain. Surely your vintage ship can make way for modern vessels." Sarah straightened, her dark eyes meeting the ambassador's gaze. "Ambassador Tixra, the Meridian holds valid clearance for this route. As per Galactic Council Regulation 47B, military vessels on patrol duties maintain right-of-way, regardless of their technological classification." Military vessel. Tixra's crystalline features sparkled with amusement. "Captain, let us be frank. Your ship is a museum piece. The only reason Earth maintains these outdated behemoths is because your world lacks the resources to build proper modern ships. The Council tolerates this because, well, humans are still learning." Sarah felt her crew tense around her. They'd all heard variations of this speech before. Humanity, the newcomers, the primitives who'd somehow stumbled onto faster-than-light travel before they were ready. Never mind that they'd earned their place among the stars through grit and determination. "Nevertheless, Ambassador, we will maintain our course. Meridian out." She nodded to Rivera, who cut the transmission before the ambassador could protest further. "That felt good," her XO, Commander David Foster, muttered from his station. "Though he'll probably file another complaint." "Let him," Sarah replied, settling into her command chair. "Add it to the collection." The massive bridge around them hummed with the steady rhythm of ancient machinery. Unlike the sleek, automated command centers of modern vessels, the Meridian's bridge was a cathedral of technology. Brass and steel panels lined the walls, dotted with displays that married centuries-old design with functional necessity. To most aliens, it looked absurdly labor-intensive. Why have human operators when I could do the job better? But there was something they didn't know, something even most of her crew didn't fully understand. Sarah felt it in quiet moments like these, a presence in the ship's systems, watching, waiting. The Meridian was far more than it appeared, though few believed the stories. They called it the ghost in the machine, the strange occurrences where the ship seemed to react before her crew could, the way her systems operated at levels that should have been impossible given her apparent age. "Captain," Lieutenant Wong called out from sensors, "I'm picking up something strange. Multiple quantum distortions, bearing 047 Mark 223. Sarah leaned forward. "Source: unknown, ma'am. But they're unlike anything in our database. And they're growing." Before Sarah could respond, the ship's alert system activated, not the modern warning system installed during her last refit, but the original klaxons, their deep, resonant tone echoing through the massive vessel. The bridge lights dimmed, and for a moment, Sarah could have sworn she heard something. A whisper in the static of the ship's communications, a pattern in the random fluctuations of the ancient displays. Multiple contacts. Wang's voice carried over the alarms. "Massive energy signatures. Captain, they're ships." But the configuration. He trailed off, staring at his readings in disbelief. The main viewport shifted, its display zooming in on the distant anomalies. What they saw sent a chill through the bridge crew. Massive vessels were emerging from what looked like tears in space itself. Organic shapes melded with crystalline structures, their surfaces rippling like liquid metal. Getting energy readings off the scale, Foster reported, his hands flying over his console. Whatever they are, they're armed to the teeth. The Arcanian diplomatic vessel, still visible off their port bow, had frozen in space. Sarah could imagine the panic on their bridge as they faced something completely outside their experience. Then the unknown ships opened fire. Beams of coherent energy lashed out, cutting through the void. The Arcanian vessel's shields, among the most advanced in known space, flared briefly before collapsing. The diplomatic ship listed to one side, secondary explosions rippling along its hull. "My God," Foster whispered. Sarah's mind raced. The Arcanian ship was carrying over 3,000 civilians. Whatever these unknown vessels were, whatever their purpose, she couldn't stand by and watch a massacre. "Battle stations," she ordered, her voice calm despite the chaos unfolding before them. "All hands to combat positions. Tactical, target the lead vessel. Let's show them what this old ship can do." As her crew rushed to their stations, Sarah felt it again. That presence in the ship's systems, stronger now than ever before. The deck plates thrummed beneath her feet, and the ancient displays flickered with patterns that hadn't been seen in centuries. The Meridian was awakening, and the galaxy was about to learn why humanity never decommissioned their obsolete warships. The Meridian's ancient engines roared to life as she moved to intercept the attacking vessels. Captain Chen watched as her crew worked with practiced efficiency, their hands dancing over controls that most modern ships would have relegated to AI systems. "Shield status," she demanded, eyes fixed on the approaching enemy fleet. "Operating at 127% of rated capacity." Lieutenant Santos reported from engineering, confusion evident in his voice. "Captain, these readings, they don't make sense. The power curve is unlike anything I've seen before." Sarah nodded, unsurprised. The Meridian had always defied conventional engineering principles. "Weapons. All systems online." Tactical Officer Lieutenant Commander Jackson responded. "But Captain, our weapons are severely outdated compared to." The ship shuddered as the first enemy salvo struck their shields. The same weapons that had torn through the Arcanian vessel's defenses splashed harmlessly against the Meridian's protective barrier. "Return fire," Sarah ordered. "All batteries." The Meridian's response was devastating. Ancient weapon ports that hadn't opened in decades slid apart with fluid grace. Energy beams lanced out, but these weren't the standard plasma weapons the crew had trained with. These were something else. Coherent streams of golden light that seemed to bend space itself around them. The lead enemy vessel, caught off guard by the unexpected resistance, took a direct hit. Its strange biomechanical hull didn't just breach, it unraveled, coming apart at the quantum level. "What the hell was that?" Foster breathed, staring at the tactical display. Before Sarah could respond, the ship's internal communications crackled to life. But instead of the usual clear channel, they heard something else, a voice that seemed to emerge from the static itself, neither male nor female, neither human nor machine. "Primary weapons restored. Combat protocols active." "Hello, Captain Chen." The bridge crew froze. Sarah gripped her command rail, her knuckles white. "Who is this?" "I am the Meridian," the voice replied simply. "Or rather, I am what the Meridian was always meant to be. The time for sleep has ended." The enemy fleet, recovering from their initial shock, began to coordinate their attack. Multiple vessels moved to surround the Meridian, their weapons charging for a synchronized strike. "We're being targeted from multiple vectors," Wong reported. "Impact in 10 seconds. "Meridian," Sarah said, making a decision. "Can you help us?" "Always," the voice replied, and the ship transformed. Panels throughout the bridge shifted, revealing displays and control interfaces that had been hidden beneath centuries of careful camouflage. The lighting changed, taking on a golden hue as new systems came online. Sarah felt a subtle shift in the artificial gravity as ancient machines deep within the ship's hull awakened. "What you know as the Meridian is merely the shell," the voice explained as the enemy ships opened fire. "We are something far older, far more advanced. Your people were chosen to inherit our legacy, but you needed time to grow, to develop on your own path." The combined firepower of the enemy fleet struck the Meridian and vanished into swirling vortexes of golden light that appeared moments before impact. The attacks were not just blocked but redirected, emerging behind the enemy vessels to strike their own shields. "Quantum Mirror Defense Grid Online," the voice announced. "Captain, I suggest we demonstrate why the elder races chose humanity as their successors." Sarah straightened in her chair, a fierce smile crossing her face. "Tactical, target all hostile vessels. Engineering, give us everything the old girl has to offer." The Meridian's response was beyond anything her crew had imagined possible. The ship's very structure seemed to ripple golden light racing through previously invisible circuitry embedded in her hull. Space itself bent around them as ancient gravitic drives engaged, giving them maneuverability that made even the most advanced Galactic Council ships look sluggish in comparison. "Multiple Arcanian vessels approaching," Rivera reported. "They're asking for our help." On the main viewer, Sarah could see the Arcanian defense fleet arriving. Sleek, modern ships rushing to protect their diplomatic vessel. She could imagine their reaction to seeing the Meridian in action, this obsolete human warship dancing through space like a creature from legend. "Let them watch," she said. "Let them all see what humanity has been protecting all these years. Meridian, show them what you can do." The ship's eye, if that's truly what it was, seemed to laugh, the sound resonating through the ship's very bones. "With pleasure, Captain. Initiating full combat protocols. The children of Earth have grown up. It's time the galaxy understood why." As the battle unfolded, Sarah realized they were witnessing more than just a fight. They were seeing the unveiling of humanity's true heritage, the awakening of powers their ancestors had been entrusted with centuries ago. The Meridian wasn't just a warship. It was a bridge between humanity's present and a far more advanced past. And its awakening was just the beginning. The battle had reached a stalemate. Though the Meridian's awakened systems had destroyed several enemy vessels, more continued to emerge from the spatial rifts, their biomechanical forms adapting to each attack pattern. "They're learning," Commander Foster observed, studying the tactical display. "Each new wave is more resistant to our weapons." "As they were designed to do," the Meridian's voice responded. "The harvesters were created to evolve, to consume and adapt. That is why they were sealed away eons ago." Sarah leaned forward in her command chair. "Harvesters. You know these things." The bridge lights dimmed slightly as holographic images appeared, showing similar battles fought long ago. "They are why we chose humanity to inherit our legacy. Your adaptability, your creativity. These qualities mirror our own. The qualities needed to fight an enemy that learns from every defeat." "Multiple Council ships approaching," Rivera announced. "The Arcanian High Command is requesting direct communication." Sarah nodded. "Put them through." The main viewer split, showing both the ongoing battle and the face of High Admiral Vextrol, his crystalline features rigid with shock. "Captain Chen, our sensors must be malfunctioning. Your vessel is displaying energy signatures that should be impossible for primitive humans." Sarah interrupted. "Admiral, with respect, we have bigger concerns. Those rifts are still expanding, and more hostile ships are incoming. The harvesters will not stop," the Meridian added, its voice now broadcasting to the Arcanian ships as well. "They have awakened from their long imprisonment, hungry for new civilizations to consume, just as they did to the Guardians." The Admiral's patterns flashed with recognition. The Guardians, the mythical race said to have shepherded the first civilizations. "That's impossible. They vanished millions of years ago." "We did not vanish," The Meridian corrected. We chose to sleep, to wait. We scattered our knowledge across the galaxy, hidden in ships like this one, waiting for the right inheritors. Humanity proved themselves worthy through their resilience, their determination to survive against all odds. As if to emphasize the point, another wave of harvester ships emerged from the rifts. Their forms had changed, becoming more angular, with weapons specifically designed to counter the Meridian's quantum mirror defenses. They're targeting the Arcanian civilian ships, Wong reported urgently. Not just the ships. The Meridian's voice grew grave. The rifts are aligning. They're creating a path to Earth. Sarah felt her blood run cold. How long? At current expansion rates, 6 hours until they can breach Earth's defenses. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Earth's planetary defenses, while formidable by modern standards, would be useless against these ancient enemies. There is a solution, the Meridian continued, but it requires trust. The Guardians did not just leave their technology in human hands. We left our essence, our very consciousness. What you have witnessed is only a fraction of our true capabilities. Sarah understood. You need full access to the ship's systems. Complete integration. Yes, but such power cannot be taken. It must be given freely. The human crew must choose to accept their role as our successors. High Admiral Vextral's voice cut through the tension. Captain Chen, surely you cannot trust this machine's claims. The power it suggests is beyond comprehension. No species should wield such force. Sarah looked around her bridge, at the crew who had served with her through years of mockery and condescension from the council races. She saw in their eyes the same determination that had driven humanity to the stars despite all obstacles. We never wanted power, Admiral, she replied. We wanted to explore, to learn, to grow. But sometimes the universe demands more from us. Meridian, what do you need? The ship's presence seemed to fill the bridge, wrapping around them like a protective embrace. Your permission, Captain. Your trust. The Guardians chose humanity because you understand something the Council races never did. True strength comes not from technological superiority, but from the will to stand against impossible odds. The harvesters were closing in, their adapted weapons beginning to strain even the Meridian's advanced defenses. Earth's fate, perhaps the fate of the galaxy itself, hung in the balance. Sarah stood, her decision made. Crew of the Meridian, this is your captain speaking. We stand at a crossroads. Before us is an enemy that threatens not just Earth, but all life as we know it. We have been offered the power to fight them, not because we are special, but because we have proven ourselves worthy through our actions. She paused, watching as her words resonated with her crew. The choice must be unanimous. We accept this responsibility together, or not at all. One by one, her crew voiced their agreement. Even as the ship shuddered under increasingly powerful attacks, they stood firm in their decision. Meridian, Sarah commanded, initiate full integration. Show us what humanity was meant to become. The ship's response was immediate and transformative. Golden light suffused every surface, and Sarah felt a presence touch her mind, ancient, powerful, but gentle. The barrier between human and machine, between past and present, began to dissolve. The true awakening had begun. The transformation of the Meridian began at its core. Golden light pulsed through the ship's superstructure as ancient systems, dormant for millennia, surged to life. Captain Chen and her crew felt the change in their very bones, a resonance that bound them to their vessel in ways they had never imagined possible. Integration at 40%. The Meridian's voice echoed through their minds, no longer confined to mere speakers. The harvester's approach. They sense what we are becoming. Through the enhanced sensor feeds now flowing directly into their consciousness, the crew watched as the enemy fleet shifted formation. The biomechanical ships merged and transformed, combining into massive structures that dwarfed even the largest council vessels. They remember, the Meridian explained. They remember the Guardians, and they fear what we represent. Sarah felt the ship's history unfold in her mind. Countless battles fought across the ages, civilizations rising and falling, and through it all, the patient search for worthy inheritors of their legacy. She saw why humanity had been chosen. Their resilience, their creativity, their unwavering determination to survive and grow despite all obstacles. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Wang reported, his consciousness now seamlessly integrated with the ship's sensor arrays. They're trying to force open a direct portal to Earth. The Arcanian fleet, still maintaining a defensive perimeter around their damaged diplomatic vessel, watched in awe as the Meridian's transformation continued. The ship's hull began to shift, ancient nanomaterials awakening from their long dormancy. Layers of conventional armor fell away, revealing intricate patterns of light and energy beneath. Integration at 70%. The Meridian announced, "Captain, the next phase requires your direct input. You must guide us." Sarah understood instinctively what was needed. Through their shared connection, she felt the ship's true nature, not just a vessel, but a bridge between what humanity was and what they could become. The Guardians hadn't just left their technology. They had created a path for humanity's evolution. "They're launching their final attack," Foster warned, his consciousness tracking multiple threat vectors simultaneously. Energy readings off the scale. The combined harvester fleet unleashed a barrage that would have annihilated a planet. Space itself seemed to warp under the onslaught, reality straining at the seams. But Sarah and her crew stood firm, their minds united with their ship and with each other. Integration complete, the Meridian declared. "The choice is made. The bridge is formed. We are one." The transformation reached its apex. The Meridian's form transcended its physical boundaries, becoming something that existed simultaneously in normal space and beyond it. Golden light erupted from every surface, forming patterns that mirrored the fundamental structures of the universe itself. Through their shared consciousness, Sarah addressed her crew. "This is what we were meant to be. Not conquerors, not supreme beings, but guardians, protectors of life and growth in all its forms." The harvester's attack struck their new form and passed through it like light through crystal. The Meridian existed now in multiple dimensions, simultaneously, their human consciousness guided by the ancient wisdom of the Guardians, but not overwhelmed by it. Multiple council fleets approaching, Rivera reported, his enhanced senses detecting ships dropping out of FTL from every direction. They're responding to the Arcanian distress call. Sarah knew they were about to change the galaxy's understanding of humanity forever. Through their connection to the ship, she felt the attention of countless alien races focused on them, watching as the primitive humans revealed their true nature. "The harvesters are preparing for their final push," Foster announced. "They're going to try to break through to Earth with everything they have." "Let them try," Sarah responded, her consciousness extending through the ship's enhanced systems. "We've hidden who we are for long enough. It's time to show the galaxy why the Guardians chose humanity." The Meridian's response was beyond anything the watching council races could comprehend. The ship split reality itself, existing in multiple states simultaneously. What appeared to be a single vessel became a fleet unto itself, each manifestation wielding power that made their previous capabilities seem primitive by comparison. Multiple timeline convergence detected, Wang reported with newfound understanding. "The harvesters are attempting to attack through parallel dimensions. Then we'll meet them in all of them," Sarah declared. "This ends today." As the council fleets arrived to witness the battle, they saw something unprecedented, a human vessel transcending the very laws of physics they had once mocked humanity for barely understanding. The Meridian danced through dimensions, each movement a calculated step in a cosmic ballet of creation and destruction. The final battle for Earth's survival was about to begin, and humanity's true awakening would reshape the galaxy forever. The void between Earth and the approaching harvester fleet had become a canvas of impossible physics. The transformed Meridian existed across multiple dimensions, its golden light weaving through reality like threads in a cosmic tapestry. Captain Sarah Chen and her crew, Their consciousness expanded beyond normal human limits, prepared for the final confrontation. Portal stability at critical levels, Wang reported through their shared neural link. The harvesters are forcing their way through to Earth with every dimension they can access. Through the Meridian's enhanced sensors, Sarah watched as the enemy fleet executed their desperate gambit. The harvesters, ancient and terrible in their power, were tearing holes in space-time itself, trying to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer dimensional saturation. They're afraid. The Meridian's consciousness resonated through their shared awareness. They remember their last defeat at the hands of the Guardians. They will not allow us to fully awaken. The assembled Council fleets hung back, their most advanced sensors struggling to comprehend what they were witnessing. The Arcanian High Admiral's voice cut through their command channel, tight with disbelief. Captain Chen, our analysts, they're detecting power signatures that violate fundamental laws of physics. What have you become? What we were always meant to be, Sarah responded, her voice carrying the weight of ancient knowledge. Humanity wasn't primitive, Admiral. We were growing, learning, preparing for this moment. The harvesters launched their final assault. Reality buckled as thousands of biomechanical ships attacked simultaneously across multiple dimensional planes. Each version of the attack was slightly different, adapted to counter any possible defense. But the Meridian was ready. All hands, Sarah commanded, her consciousness extending through the ship's transcendent systems. Execute Protocol Omega. Show them why the Guardians chose humanity. The Meridian's response defied description. The ship's quantum-entangled structure resonated at frequencies that touched the very foundations of spacetime. Golden light erupted from their position, forming a lattice of pure energy that stretched across dimensions. Multiple timeline convergence detected, Foster reported with newfound clarity. They're trying to fragment our defensive grid by attacking through parallel probability streams. Sarah smiled, understanding flowing through her enhanced consciousness. Then we'll show them humanity's greatest strength, our ability to adapt and overcome. The Meridian split its consciousness across multiple realities, each version of the ship and crew working in perfect harmony. Where the harvesters expected to find weaknesses between dimensions, they instead encountered humanity's transcendent awareness. The watching Council fleets witnessed something unprecedented. The primitive human vessel they had mocked now commanded forces they had believed impossible. The Meridian didn't just fight the harvesters. It rewrote the laws of reality around them. Their dimensional anchors are failing, Wang announced. The portal network is collapsing. Sarah felt the moment approaching, the cusp of victory or annihilation. Through their connection to the ship, she addressed not just her crew, but all the watching races of the galaxy. The Guardians didn't choose humanity because we were special. Her thoughts resonated across space. They chose us because we never stopped trying, never stopped growing, never accepted the limitations others placed on us. This is humanity's gift to the galaxy, not power, but determination. The Meridian's final strike was both elegant and devastating. The ship existed simultaneously across all the dimensions the harvesters had torn open, its golden energy weaving through reality like a needle-pulling thread. Instead of attacking the enemy fleet directly, they began to seal the dimensional rifts, trapping the harvesters in pocket universes of contained spacetime. Portal closure at 90%, Foster reported. The harvesters, they're being erased from our reality. Through their shared consciousness, the crew felt the enemy's desperate final attacks fade into dimensional static. The threat that had once destroyed the Guardian civilization was being undone, not by superior firepower, but by humanity's unique approach to an impossible problem. As the last dimensional rift sealed, the Meridian began to stabilize, its transcendent form settling into a new equilibrium. The ship remained transformed, its golden light a permanent reminder of what humanity had become, but its power was now contained and controlled. High Admiral Vextral's voice broke the silence that followed victory. Captain Chen, humanity has proven itself beyond any doubt. The Council's prejudices were wrong. We stand humbled before you. Sarah, her consciousness still linked with her crew and ship, responded with the wisdom of both humanity and the Guardians. Then let this be a lesson. Admiral, true civilization isn't measured by technological advancement, but by the wisdom to understand that every race, every species, has the potential for greatness. The Meridian's light pulsed once more, sending a signal that resonated through Council space. Across the galaxy, other dormant ships began to stir, awakening to their true nature. Humanity's journey was just beginning. The age of isolation is over. The Meridian declared through their shared consciousness. The Guardian's legacy is fully awakened, and humanity stands ready to fulfill its role not as conquerors, not as superiors, but as protectors of life and growth throughout the cosmos. As the Council fleets approached to pay their respects, Sarah felt the truth of their victory. Humanity had proved itself not through dominance, but through perseverance, creativity, and the willingness to stand against impossible odds. The galaxy would never be the same, and humanity, once mocked as primitive, would help guide it into a new era of understanding and cooperation, forever change, but never forgetting the qualities that had made them worthy of their inheritance. The ancient warship that had been laughed at now stood as a beacon of hope, a bridge between past and future, between what was and what could be. The Meridian, and humanity with it, had transcended their limitations and emerged stronger, wiser, and ready to face whatever challenges the universe might present. In the end, they had proved that the greatest power wasn't in technology or weapons, but in the indomitable spirit that had driven humanity to reach for the stars in the first place.